Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a video on batteries and what the numbers mean and all that. So, I've got two different batteries here. I've got a Turnigy Nanotech 6000 milliamp hour 2S LiPo and a Traxxas PowerCell 3000 milliamp 7 cell nickel metal hydride batteries. So, what's the difference between LiPo and nickel metal? It's quite simple. Lithium polymer is lighter than nickel metal, produces more punch, and is more consistent throughout the life of the battery. So for all you experienced guys, this might not be a very useful video, so you can just skip it pretty much. But for all you newbies who don't really know, a lithium polymer battery, pretty much throughout the run of the battery, the voltage stays a constant until the battery is until the pack ends, so then the voltage just drops. But with a nickel metal battery like this, the voltage goes down like in a curve. So throughout the run, the car that you're driving or plane or whatever you're doing will slowly start decreasing in power, while LiPo will not. So most people use lithium polymer nowadays just because it's just better, but there are still some people who use nickel metal, and that's fine. So I'm going to talk about the numbers. It says 6,000. I mean, this is 6.0, but it means 6,000 milliamp hours. So pretty much a 6,000 milliamp hour battery will last a certain amount of time. This is a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. So effectively, this will outlast this 2 to 1. So say you're running, and this lasts 20 minutes. This theoretically should last 15 minutes. So that's pretty much like your gas tank in a car, how much gas you can put in. And then there's a C rating. So this one's a 65C through 130C, and that's your discharge rate. So that's how much punch a battery can give at a certain moment. And then the 130, so the 65 is constant, it can take that constantly, and then 130 is just a burst, so it can only do that for a very short amount of time. So the higher C rating, the more punch you're going to get from a battery. For racing, I would recommend nothing below 50C. So I'm using 65C, and that's one of my racing batteries. I would recommend as high of a C as you can get, the better, but nothing below 50 is what I would recommend for racing. And for bashing, same if you can, but if you can't, anything really is alright for bashing because it's not accelerate, brake, so bashing is different. And then there's the cell rating. So with a lithium polymer, this is a 2-cell battery, and that is what's currently legal for racing. So two cells, and you can get 1 cells, which most ESCs for 10 scale cars at least won't take. So 2S is really your minimum, and you can go 3, 4, 5, as high as you can go. And of course your ESC, which is electronic speed control, is pretty much the deciding factor on that, and also your motor, but most of the time the motor can take more than the ESC. So if you have a motor and ESC that say can take 3S, and you're bashing, 3S is probably a good option. It will give you more speed. But if you're racing, you have to stick to 2S depending on the rules. A scale is different and so on. But for 10 scale off-road, it's 2S only. And then in nickel metal, there's 6 cell. There's 4 to about, I don't know how many cells, but this is a 7 cell. So this produces 8.4 volts, and this 2-cell LiPo produces 7.4 volts. So theoretically, this should give you a higher top speed, but LiPos don't sag in voltage nearly as much as these do. So this would still give you more punch and around the same top speed just because they don't sag. Apart from that, choosing a battery is really just down to what you need. So if you need a really long run time, get the highest milliamp hours possible. If you need a lot of punch, get the highest C rating possible. If you need a mix of both, get a mix of both. I would always recommend LiPo batteries just because they are superior to nickel metal hydride batteries. And then, of course, there's the discussion between the different types of connectors. So this is a Traxxas connector, this is a Dean's connector. I prefer Dean's connectors, which is the T style, and that's just my preference. But there's a bunch of other connectors, but those are the two I would go out and say two most common ones. In racing, what we do a lot is just use straight bullets. So we just have this on one end, and then just plug it directly into the battery. But the risky thing is that if you get them wrong, it fries everything. So all in all, that's pretty much the video I've made on batteries. And if you want more information, there's probably a bunch of really good posts on RC Tech, RC Groups, pretty much any RC related forum. So I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.